All right, hello. My name is Clint, and I am going to do a quick video here in walking you through installing FileZilla and getting it set up and configured to work with the OpenText server at Durham College. So quickly, what you're going to do is the first thing is you want to download FileZilla. So the web address you want to go to is filezilla-project.org. That's under HTTPS protocol. Once you're on that website, you'll click on Download FileZilla Client. Then you'll click Download FileZilla Client. And when the options come up, you'll want to choose this one that's on the left. Okay, it's the free version. The other ones are all paid versions that you get subscriptions for and that. So you will just want to download this one on the left. That will go ahead and start the downloading process. All right. And you can go ahead and open up the file that you download. We're just waiting for it to open up on my computer here. And when you run the program, okay, it's going to have a few things to go through. You have to agree to the license agreement. Okay. And it's saying here, I already have it installed and I could go ahead and upgrade it if I want to. All right. I'm just going to cancel this out of my own. But when you go through, there's a couple things you want to do. One, it's going to offer you to download and install a browser called AVG. You do not need that. So just hit the decline button on that. And then the second thing is it's going to pop up and say, do you want this available for all users on your computer or just for you? It's probably best to choose all users. And that way you don't have to have different installations for each person who uses your computer. Other than that, you can just hit next on all the installation processes, and you should now have FileZilla installed. Okay. When you first run FileZilla, it will look something like this. Okay. Close this window here and get it out of the way. All right. So once you run it, it will look something like this. Okay. And we're going to have to set up your site and your connection to the OpenText server. And the way we're going to do this is we want to save all these settings. So we're going to use the site manager to save all these settings. You access the site manager through this button right here. Okay. So there's a drop down arrow that once you have a bunch of servers in here, you can choose which one you want to connect to. I have a whole bunch in here, but basically, you guys probably won't have any to start. But if you click on the actual icon itself, it will bring up the site manager. And here's the site manager here. Your list will probably be empty when you start, and that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and create a new site so I can do this for scratch for you. Okay, we're going to go ahead and click a new site, and it'll give you an option here to open it. I'm going to call this DC OpenTech demo. Okay, you can give it any name you want. The name's irrelevant. Okay, then I'm going to make sure that I keep the one that I've just added, highlighted. And then I'm going to go over here and configure it. We're going to do two things in the configuration, one in the general tab and one in the advanced tab. Okay, in the general tab, we have to do a few configurations. The first thing is this must be SFTP, and that is the SSH file transfer protocol. So we're going to use SFTP to connect to the OpenText server. Okay, so if it's not SFTP, it won't work. Then we're going to go openTech.durhamcollege.org. Okay, not .ca, it must be .org, and it will be port 22. Okay, then using the username and password that has been issued to you, okay, you can go ahead and enter the username and password. At this point, I'm just going to save what I've got. Okay, I'm just going to say okay, and I've now saved that. I can then, what I'm going to do is try to do a connect for the first time. So I'm going to go ahead and connect for the first time. I'm going to just click on OpenText demo here. Okay, when I click on it, I'm now connected. Now, once you're connected, this screen, this top one is just your communication status and the messages you get as you're trying to attempt in that. So this can be, you can make this really small. That's just in case it doesn't connect, you get your error messages and stuff. The left two windows here are your local hard drive on your computer. So you can navigate to different locations here on your local computer. So I'm going to navigate here to the folder that I have set up for my website. Okay, so I should have created a folder. Now for most of your classes, I recommended making a folder named OpenText, so I'll just choose this one. Okay, and here's the folders and the files that I have in my local copy of my website right away. All right, so I'm just gonna stay and sit on that. That's where my local files are. At this point, I'm gonna copy this address right here, and I'm gonna go back into the site manager and memorize this. And the reason why I want to memorize it is because every time I want to connect to the server, I want to be in this local folder on my local machine. So going back into the site manager, I'm going to make sure I highlight the site that I created. And under the advanced tab, there's the default local directory and the default remote directory. So my computer is the local directory. So I'm just going to paste that in there. If you didn't copy that address, you can actually use the browse button here to navigate to that folder, but I'm just going to leave that there. Okay, the next I'm going to say okay again. I've now memorized my local folder, and now on the OpenText server, so these two windows on the right are the OpenText server. Okay, and by default it puts me in this home directory and a directory called with my username in it. Now this directory is fine. You can put some files there, yes and no. All right, but this is not your website. Okay, so this is not where you want to publish your lab files. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to navigate through the folder structure here to find our own personal web space on the OpenText server. And we're going to do that by going to this remote address site here. And I'm just going to delete everything except for the slash. When I hit enter, it goes to the root folder of the web server. Okay, and so I'm going to have to find my own personal web space. So I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to go into the var directory here. Okay, then I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to go into the www directory. Then I'm going to go into the HTML directory. Then I'm going to go into the INFT 1206 folder. Okay, then I'm going to find my username in this list. Okay, so all of the users are in this list. So here is my username. So you'll find your username. All right, and I'm going to go in and click on that folder. Now down here is the folder that has all of the files that we have that are on my website. So right now on my website, I only have a week one folder and there's no files. Okay, but this is my web space. All right, so if I click on this address, I want to memorize this address because every time I connect, I want to go to this folder and I don't want to have to navigate through that every single time. So I'm going to copy that back into the site manager, making sure I've highlighted the connection, go back to the advanced tab, and under the default remote directory, I'm going to go ahead and choose that and close and put that remote directory in there. I'm now going to say okay. All right, and now let's test if that works. Okay, so I'm gonna literally, let's go up a few folders here. Let's go back to say this folder, and on here let's even change what folder I'm in. There we go. Okay, so I've changed this completely, so I'm not in the right place. Now let's reconnect to that server. This is the one I created right here. Now I have a connection already open, so it's asking me to abort that connection. I don't want to establish a new connection because then I end up with multiple connections open. So I'll abort this connection and reconnect. Now when I go there, you'll see that I'm connected to the OpenText server. I'm in the proper folder on my local hard drive here on the left, and I'm in the proper folder in the right hand side, which is the remote server on OpenText. So to move my files over to the OpenText server, I'll simply highlight them here on the left and drag them over. Okay, if the files already exist on the server, it will say, do you want to overwrite them? So if it is a newer version, it gives you the time and date stamp here, so you know if it's a newer version or not. And I'm just going to say okay. Now all my files are now on the OpenText server, so I can now go to a browser and type in the address to my page, which is going to be opentech.durhamcollege.org. Okay, slash, and it's going to start with the INFT 1206 folder, slash your username. Now, if you had your home page put up on that site, you should see that page there. All right, and then you have the links into the different folders that you had created, and that should work nicely. If I click on the week 1 folder, there I am into the week 1 demo file that I had created in class. Okay, so hopefully that's a good walkthrough to get you set up and going with FileZilla. It's important to sort of make sure that the details are exactly the same. It is case sensitive, so make sure that capitals are capitals and lowercase are lowercase and those kind of things. All right, good luck.